Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your friendly neighborhood Coach Pruitt here with you once again with a daily intro video. I apologize for the casual dress. I also apologize that it's Wednesday and I'm not wearing pink, but it is Spirit Week this week, and so even though there's not a lot of people in the building, Mr. Burrows and I are still trying to dress up, still trying to participate. So I have on a superhero t-shirt today, so that's why there's no pink, and that's why there's no normal, at least collared shirt, if not a shirt and tie. But glad you guys are back with us. As you can see on the screen, here is our schedule, and here's what's going on today. So that would be for Wednesday, October the 28th, as well as Thursday, October 29th. So your essential question is going to be the same this today as it was last time. We're still looking at the problems with the Articles of Confederation and then transitioning into the new government and the new Constitution. So you can see our schedule right here. We're going to recap a little bit from our last time together. Just make sure we remember the key points about the Articles of Confederation. We're going to do the Taskwork activity on the Federalists and Anti-Federalists. It's very simple, very straightforward, won't take us long. That will lead us into our discussion on the U.S. Constitution. We're going to do an overview in general together. Sorry about that. We're going to do an overview together, and then we are also going to work on a Taskwork activity where you guys are going to do some independent work and research on the Constitution. Now, obviously, we'll still go over this at a later date, either Friday or early next week. We'll make sure you know the most important stuff about the Constitution, but we want you to do a little bit of independent work today because the last couple of times we've been together, Mr. Burrows and I have talked a whole lot. Obviously, this will all be on the chat at the beginning of class, but then I'll put in these other reminders a little bit later. So remember important dates, November the 11th and 12th is scheduled for your test day over unit number 2. That's a couple weeks from today. And your task work is going to be due on the 13th of November, so that's actually a Friday. So you guys will get an extra day to be able to work, put your task work together, and get it submitted. There are 2 websites that are going to be very beneficial for you guys today. One of them is the National Archives website. It looks like this. This is where I would start when I'm doing my research on the Constitution. It breaks it all down. It has every single thing of the Constitution, basically the document just electronically. The other website is also going to be good for you guys because it is going to break the Constitution down into understandable language. So you want to check out both of those. And then we've got some videos as well. We have our Unit 2 Part 2 notes. We've got a crash course video here and then several videos that are going to help break down the Constitution and give you additional information. So that's our plan from today, or for today, sorry. So just a couple of quick reminders from the last time that we were together. We talked about the Articles of Confederation, and we talked about some of the problems with those articles. We talked about the fact that it was intended to be a weak government and that it was very weak. We talked about why the colonists wanted it that way and why they wanted to give more power to the states and not the national government. We went through and did the organizer where we looked at some of the major flaws with the articles, and we talked about financial problems, foreign problems, and domestic problems. So today that's going to lead us into our discussion on the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist. Now we'll be doing this part together, but in case you're out of school, in case you miss class for whatever reason, in case your internet's down or goes out, we are going to do a task work activity with the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist. It's very simple and straightforward. We need you to create some type of chart, T-chart, some way to organize these 2 groups. So you can see, for example, I'm pulling up on my screen right now. This is how I would do it. I would draw a chart, I would draw a T-chart, and label one side Federalist, one side Anti-Federalist. As we go through and look at the notes, we'll be talking about the important people who were leaders in these groups, what these groups wanted, what were their goals, what were their ideas about the new government, or what their ideas were about keeping the government the same. So we're going to talk about these 2 groups overall, and you're going to just take notes in them into this form of a chart. So again, if you're doing it on paper, that's absolutely fine. If you're typing it, it's absolutely fine. But you're going to set it up, and as we discuss these groups, you'll take notes. That's your task work. So that's another task work activity done. That's fantastic. When we finish with that, we are going to begin our discussion on the U.S. Constitution, and so that is also a task work activity. So to get there, just a reminder, you are going to go to your Canvas homepage, just like we always do. Scroll down to the second section that says U.S. History Modules. You're going to click on the Unit 2 button where we've been for the last 4 weeks. It takes you right into the Unit 2 module. Now, again, we've already done a good bit of these activities, and we're getting closer and closer to the end, which is great because your test is on the 11th and 12th, and your task work is due on the 13th. So, If you scroll to the very bottom of the Unit 2 module, you can see down here the very last thing in the module, Concepts of the Constitution. If you click on the link, just like it always does, it will pull up a read-only version of the document. So remember, you can't type on this, you can't edit it, you can't do anything with it. It's just here as a guide. If you are a person who prefers to do things on paper, this is how you want to set your piece of paper up. So you're going to see that there are 3 columns. One has a title of the section of the Constitution. One is where you're going to put your important information about it. And one is going to be the importance. What does it do, right? Guys, if you're writing on paper, I would very highly advise you to give yourself, depending on which way you turn your paper, but which way you turn it is going to matter, but it doesn't, in terms of like the requirements, doesn't matter, but just to give yourself optimal space, I would leave myself probably 5, 6, 7 lines of space, because there's going to be a good bit of information, especially about these first 3 sections, that's going to be very important to you. So what we'll do is we will just overview this together, then we'll give you guys some time to research today, and you'll be working on your own for probably the last 30, 40 minutes of class, give or take. And then, of course, next week we'll be sure to talk about it and go through. So you can always download a digital copy of this as well. I would honestly say the easier way to do it is to download the digital copy, because then you can just type on it and it will expand. So you can see here like this, I pulled mine up. So obviously as I type, as I add more and more info, the boxes will get bigger and I won't have to worry about, a finite amount of space. All right. So again, you guys have the videos and I'll put those in the chat. But just in case, I'm going to go back to the screen. So guys, these are the videos. So do me a favor, if you are watching this video for the first time because you didn't attend class for whatever reason, take a screenshot of this real quick. Again, these are our guided notes, so they can be found on our YouTube channel in the Unit 2 playlist. All of these videos are in the Unit 2 playlist. So if you just find that playlist on our YouTube channel, and then you can just scroll through the playlist and find these are the titles of the videos, you'll be able to find it. Also, take a look at these 2 websites. So again, if you're watching this for the first time because you're outside of class, take a screenshot and then punch these things in. That's going to get you to those 2 websites, which will give you the information on the Constitution as you work independently. Friday of this week, guys, it's going to be a work day. It depends on what classes we see, and it's going to be an odd schedule. So we will not have a daily video for Friday. It'll just kind of be a work day, finishing some things up. And then that'll transition us into next week, where we talk about the Constitution, get into the Bill of Rights, and then do a project that I'm very excited about, which is the Bill of Rights memes. But we'll talk more about that next week. Okay, so for today, just to wrap it up again, what we're doing, we're finishing the Federalist and Anti-Federalist discussion and doing the taskwork activity on them, which is very simple and straightforward. We are going to begin our discussion on the U.S. Constitution. We're going to overview it together quickly, and then you guys are going to have probably half an hour, give or take, of class time to work independently. Hopefully, again, guys, these are reminders from your freshman year when you took American government, so you'll remember these things, and it'll be more of, oh, yeah, and recalling it instead of like, oh, I've never heard of that before. But as always, if you need us, you can send us a remind message, shoot us an email, whatever you need, and we'll see you guys in class. Have a great rest of your day.